Hi there, this is Daryl. I thought I'd do a little video blog. Haven't done this before, so we'll see how it works out. I'm really feeling compelled to have a little conversation this morning about shadow work. And that's because I've been having this overwhelming feeling that this is the year of shadows, when people are really going to start looking at relationships, looking at themselves, and how they contribute to the dysfunction in relationships. Shadow work is a great way to do that. We do it on our women's retreats. We start early on in the program, and it just weaves itself all the way through. And then it continues long after the retreat. It's a great tool for understanding why people are such triggers for you and what you can do about it. I'll give you a little example in my own life of how I got triggered by something, a situation, and then before I knew it, it was so instantaneous, I was judging. I was making judgments about how this person was disrespectful, that they weren't thinking about how this was going to impact me, and I started to really make up a big story about it. Of course, I knew I was on the victim triangle, you know, that Cartman triangle with the victim, the rescuer, and the persecutor. I've been playing on that for a long time, so I knew that that's what was happening, that I was falling into that victim place, and I really wanted to understand why. The judgments that I was making were that this person was being very insensitive and not caring about what was going on for me. So, yeah, you saw that deep breath. That's because I really believe that in shadow work, the reason we do it is because it teaches us how to be more compassionate and accepting of ourselves and others. So the 8 most powerful words that I teach at my retreats are, how am I like that in my life? So you can imagine, you know, the teacher is now learning. I'm the student. So I'm asking myself, well, where in my life am I disrespectful? Am I insensitive of the impact of my decisions on someone else? And I could clearly see where that was happening. And, you know, I mean, I'm uncomfortable maybe talking about some things. And I will say very openly that, you know what, I see it with my husband. I go ahead and make plans. He suddenly arrives in the scene, and I've got some big process or experience figured out. This is what we're going to be doing. And I haven't even thought about, well, you know, maybe he's going to be really tired from a day of work, or maybe he had something else in mind. And it struck me that I was judging that what I was doing wasn't as bad as what this other person was doing. And if you've been to one of my retreats, you know that the universe doesn't know degrees. You're doing it or you're not. You're lying or you're not. It's just that simple. So when I realized that there's places and times in my own life when I do that, and you know what, I'll say, sometimes they're bigger than just making plans without checking with my husband. It doesn't matter. I am just like everyone else. So for me to judge someone because I think that they're being insensitive is not fair. I do it too. And I've been projecting on someone else because I didn't want to own that for myself. And now that I do, I can be far more understanding and just let it go and say, you know what? They were doing the best they could at the time. I hope this has been